your phone.
So.
There we go. When you're ready, I'll leave you to click through it.
We'll go through to the next.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so my name is Stephen Elsden. I'm the Chief Executive of Compaid, which is a charity in Kent which supports disabled people with a range of practical services. We support 1,500 disabled people in and around Kent, and essentially all of our services are helping disabled people to lead full and active lives, so ensuring that they are socially included, economically included and digitally included. We provide 3 core services: digital skills training, which I'll explain in more detail, a community transport service and a payroll support service. Compaid was founded in 1986 by Lorna Ridgway. Lorna saw the advent of personal computers in 1986 in the mid-80s and felt that disabled people needed to be supported to fully utilise the opportunities of personal computers. So in those early days, Compaid was building accessibility adaptations so that people with physical disabilities could use a computer, and also writing specialist software so that somebody with a learning disability could program a computer. Today, software and hardware is commercially available to make computers fully accessible for disabled people, and what Compaid focuses on is training disabled people in using that technology. Today we support around 500 disabled adults each month in skills training. That's a range of disabilities from physical disabilities to learning disabilities and autism, through to people with sensory impairments and acquired brain injuries. Last year we delivered 7,000 training sessions to disabled adults, both through a dedicated accessible centre that we run in Paddockwood in Kent, and also from our outreach service, which goes out into the local community, into people's own homes, residential homes and day centres. And we expect in the late autumn of this year to be moving into East Kent, working in partnership with the Job Centre Plus network to support disabled people who are on employment support allowance who need to gain digital skills to get into work. So we provide a whole range of training opportunities to the disabled people we support, from the very basics such as use of the internet, setting up an email account and learning about social media, managing benefits, looking for work and using public service websites, communication tools such as Skype, email and instant messaging. We train a number of disabled people in Microsoft Office applications, so Microsoft Word, Excel and Photoshop, and we provide accredited training against the ITQ qualification for those who wish to learn that. We also train a lot of disabled people in using digital design packages such as CorelDRAW and Photoshop to create original works of art, and they work on a lot of public exhibitions and other projects such as developing corporate identities for local companies and charities.
With so much of our daily lives revolving online, disabled people without digital skills are at a distinct disadvantage. Each month our staff and volunteers train more than 300 people in the use of the internet, social media and specialist software, both at our dedicated training centre and through outreach within the community. This training enables many of our clients to showcase their creativity in art and music. In partnership with a local college, a growing number of clients are now studying for a qualification in computer skills with a view to moving into employment. These skills for life also do much to improve the confidence of disabled people and make it possible for them to access other services within their local community.
Well, I'm writing a letter to head office about a collecting box.
So looking at a few statistics, the digital divide between disabled and non-disabled people is stark. Research from the Office of National Statistics, which was published in April 2014, showed that 30.8% of disabled people had no internet access, compared to just 7% of non-disabled people. So there's a huge divide there that we need to urgently close. And in terms of the numbers, again, as of April 2014, 3.5 million disabled people have never used the internet, compared to 2.9 million non-disabled people. So there's a large number of disabled and indeed non-disabled people who need to be supported to get online. So the barriers to digital inclusion are many. There's access to technology. Many of the people that we support with our training services only get to use a computer on the days that we're supporting them. They don't have access in their own homes. There's often a financial reason for that. So computer technology is still relatively expensive, particularly for disabled people who have less disposable income than non-disabled people. And to get high-speed broadband is expensive for anybody. There's a lack of confidence to going online. There are security fears. What will happen with personal information that's put onto a website? Even using a search function, who's looking at what that individual is searching for? So, it's a major barrier, confidence and security to disabled people. And there's basic knowledge and skills that need to be gained and brought up. So how can we hurdle those barriers? Smartphones are becoming more prevalent. Tablet technology is becoming cheaper. Something like the Tesco Huddle can afford some tablet experience to somebody for less than £100. And digital TV is now in most homes around the UK, and there's no reason practically why public services and other services can't be delivered through the red button on a digital television. So people don't have to go out and buy a computer to access online services. Libraries and community centres do offer free internet and computer use, and there's free Wi-Fi increasingly in town centres. One of the things that we provide to overcome a lot of these barriers is a group support system. So our learners, whether on outreach or through our training centre, are in the same space as other disabled people who are learning perhaps different skills at a different pace, but they can support each other mutually. And indeed, a number of people that we train in computer skills go on to be trainers and coaches for other disabled people. So there are many opportunities for disabled people when they are digitally included. There's social media and networking. Communication is much more accessible. It levels the playing field. If you're disabled and you're behind a keyboard on Facebook, nobody on Facebook, the other side of the world, needs to know that you're disabled. Online shopping affords many discounts to individuals these days compared to the high street. And again, for disabled people who face additional financial pressures, it's important that they gain access to the best discounts and the best deals around. Increasingly, disabled people will need to manage their benefits online, and employment and volunteer opportunities are increasingly being offered online only. So we need to mainstream the internet. Making a website accessible for disabled people makes it accessible for everyone. Disabled people need to be involved in user testing, and if there are disabled people within council offices, they ought to be involved in that experience. Websites need to be tested with specialist access devices that perhaps people with sensory impairments will be using to access the internet. And think about testing sites with earlier browser versions, because if a disabled person perhaps has a donated computer, it may not be running the most up-to-date operating system. And avoid inaccessible plugins, particularly Flash, which doesn't work on any Apple device, but equally won't work with a disabled person using a screen reader. So if you remove Flash from your website, you make it accessible for many more people with many more different devices. And capture technology is increasingly inaccessible both to disabled and non-disabled people. So the essence is keep sites simple.
Lovely.